You're first.
I'm Clark Farley.
And I'm Denise Pizarro. Welcome to the 20-minute real estate briefing.
I'm Clark Farley.
And I'm Denise Pizarro. Oh my gosh, now what's going on? Customers.
Stand by.
Stand by. Okay.
Hi there, I'm Clark Farley.
Hi, I'm Denise Pizarro. We're coming to you live from the Westerly office of Randall Realtors.
This is the 20-minute real estate briefing.
Go
ahead. We do it every week.
We do it every week, 5:30 on Wednesday nights. We are sharing our insights and our experiences, tips and tactics acquired over quite a few years. Our goal, help you become a better buyer and a skilled seller.
Less than a couple of years ago, I would have been surprised if somebody said, Clark, you'll be glad there's a script. And Denise just did her part that settles everything in. This week, the topic of the briefing is building your buyer's team.
But before we get to that, remember, for full access to all our 20-minute real estate briefings, head over to YouTube, search Coastal New England Real Estate Team, and while you're there, don't forget to subscribe, and don't miss out on any of our briefings. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and a like would be great, and follow us too.
Yeah, just for the fun of it though. Each week we post on the Instagram piece, we post a photo from the local area, South County. And it's called, cleverly enough, Where in South County is this? Or are we? Oh, somebody changed my words. Where in South County are we? And it's usually Thursdays and Sundays. And it's kind of a lot of fun. And now that we're getting more and more people correctly guessing the locations, if you have a photo that you want to challenge everybody send it over to Coastal New England Real Estate.
Or post it on our Instagram page. Share it with us. Oh, yes, they can.
Who's tech guy? Who's tech guy?
So if you have any questions or would like to suggest any topics to us, please put a note in the chat box here or email us at coastalnere@gmail.com.
Speaking of chat boxes, thanks. We do want to take this moment to thank Emma, Manny, Kim, Martha Jean, Denise, the people who sat patiently in the audience last week. Well, we did a great briefing.
We did a good briefing last week.
The only problem was there was no audio.
And we didn't see the text box either, so we didn't know. So we talked for 18 minutes and nobody heard us.
It was actually kind of funny because we're all about, hey, send us a comment. Come on, let us know you're out there. And so we're cruising right along doing the briefing. And then finally one of us, I think it was Denise, said, where's the comments? And we scroll down because they're out of sight. And the first thing we see is no sound.
No audio.
No audio. Hey.
Hey,
over there.
So this week we have sound.
God willing. Now let's check the comments. Anybody want to, if there's anybody out there,
send us a comment that there is sound.
Because I'll recycle the old joke, because if you don't,
and it isn't funny this time.
No, I still think that's funny.
So we're doing this series because people interested in buying a home want to learn about the pitfalls to try to avoid and how to make their dream of home ownership a reality.
And people who are looking to sell their house, first time, second time, third time, realize that there's no substitute for experience. So when we get down to talking about building a real estate team, the first member is always going to be a good real estate agent.
Mm-hmm. And so our teams typically consist of a good real estate agent, as Clark said, a lender, an inspector, and an attorney.
Because this is all the kind of things that we're talking to buyers and sellers, but especially the first-time buyers, there's areas of expertise that go much better if you have an expert. So those were how many? Four people?
Mm-hmm.
Recruiting, finding, and having that team built right from the start is huge.
Well, especially since these people are helpful in reducing any questions of concerns or stresses that you have.
And they're totally necessary.
And they're necessary. But we've all been there and done that. So we can guide you through the moments that might be unexpected for you, and also calmly get through the moments that are stressful.
Because you've heard that before. The word stress is when we started, we did a little bit. Each briefing, I think in terms of what can be done to reduce the stress, because when you are buying a house, it's a potentially hugely stressful or hopefully less stressful, but it's going to be stress. So most of our briefings focus on the idea of, what can you do to minimize the stress here? This team thing is like huge on that.
It really is, and I think we've kind of addressed it before in other briefings as well, that, what you don't know is also stressful.
Yeah.
So the unexpected is, again, stressful. So some of the things that we do and that your lender will do, and your home inspector, and your attorney or title company will, help make your job much easier, which is to buy a house or sell a house.
And all of these briefings, as Denise just alluded to, are based on the idea of experience. We're not just reciting A through Z on buying real estate. This is drawn from experience. And all good agents will lay out the path for you, the buyer or the seller.
Mm-hmm.
So here's where we start and here's where we end as the goal. But within that, there are steps that you can take to anticipate the stress. My favorite example on that is the inspector. So you buy a house, you get into a contract, great. You need to have an inspector. You knew that. The difference though between knowing it before you found the house and being in contract is the contract says, hey, 10 days.
Well, the Rhode Island contract says 10 days, but all
you.
contracts do limit your inspection period.
That's your simplest stress point. The difference between, hey, we should get an inspector. Well, now you got to have it.
And in the current market, there's a lot of very busy people, and they may not be, ready for you in that 10-day period. You may have to go to someone else. So, if you've lined somebody up ahead of time, you have a working relationship, and they tend to go out of their way for you after that to get the job done for you.
And not to get too luxury, like I ever do that, the idea of you'll know from your agent you'll be getting a lender, you'll be getting an attorney and an inspection board. It's easy to put the lender you'll get to know right away. But the idea of doing it ahead of time isn't just getting a person, but finding the right person for you. The lenders, inspectors, and attorneys, you want to talk to as many people as you can to find the ones that you're comfortable with.
Yes, definitely. And your real estate agent can help you with that. We have lists of people that we work with frequently in whatever neighborhood you're looking to buy or sell in. So you can get advice from your, just like if you have an inspection and you need some type of work, sometimes they can refer someone to you to do the work that you're needing. So they're good resources for something else you might need.
Because, the idea is when you're under the gun, it's one thing. But if you can make yourself interview inspectors, like not before you saw your first home, but while you're looking, it's not a priority. It doesn't feel like a priority then because you're looking at houses trying to find the dream home. But if you do it then and you say, okay, Pete's the guy, I like that guy, then you'll know when the time comes where they say you've got to do it, you already have them picked up.
Mm-hmm.
Stress gone.
It's really good to interview 2 or 3 people before you do it, whether it's a lender, whether it's an inspector, or even an attorney. Ask them what they charge. Talk to them a little bit. What do they need you to do so that you're comfortable with what your job is going to be, and also with what that you can expect from them, and if you get along with them.
Yeah. Because this is all service business from you, the buyer, and the seller's perspective. Everybody you come into contact until you get to a contract is in a service business, so they will be more than happy to help you. If they're not more than happy to, you'll find somebody who is. And so lenders, and we've made note of this before on other briefings, but you can talk to any lender and get them to help you. You're not committed, you do not need to commit to a lender until you're in a contract, and then you got it.
Right. They may try to ask you to, commit to them at any point, but that's not necessary. You can get a pre-qual without committing. You can check with your local bank. You can
Yeah,
check
yeah.
with, someone that your realtor has advised you, works well. But you do not have to use them in the end. In the end, when it comes down to it, you can choose whoever you want to use for your lender.
Yeah, yeah. So the anticipation of the events, which your real estate agent will help you understand, and then doing the footwork to get the team together. You'll thank us later.
Hmm.
Seriously.
Even the inspector, I mean, if you interview 2 or 3 of them and you like more than one, you can have, if one of the one you want the most is busy, you've got a backup that you can go to.
That's a very good point, because when you in a situation where you need and have to get somebody, if you already know 2 good ones,
Hmm.
as opposed to what more typically happens is we'll say, hey, go to Pete. Pete's good and everybody likes him, which means he's booked.
Right.
And then you're thinking, oh man, who am I going to get? Are they any good? So you identify the other people ahead of time.
Hmm.
Stress gone.
And a lot of us know people who we work with frequently, so sometimes if you say my agent Denise said to call you, that they may, be a little bit more forthcoming on timing and stuff like that. And same thing with lenders and attorneys too.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's
building your team
Yeah.
is pretty vital, we think, in reducing stress and getting your real estate needs met.
it's the savvy thing to do.
Hmm.
To borrow a line from earlier
That's
in the
right.
presentation, and that's what these briefings are all about.
Hmm.
You can learn, and I think I said in the earlier edition of this that it's not rocket science we're talking about. However, if it's new, then it's unknown, and that's where experience comes into play, be it your agent or any of the other people that you need to use in order to get to that point.
That's right, because we want to get there nice and smoothly as we can, with limited amount of stress that we can.
Yes, or they can. 'Cause
That you
we're
can, right?
stressed
Not
out.
us. We don't get stressed by this. Well,
Well,
we
that's not
do.
true. That's not true. Hair color here indicates that yes, there is stress for agents, but you probably
It's not as personal for us, though. I mean, it's personal at the moment, but it's not as personal for us. It's not our house. It's not our purchase.
yeah.
So it is our job to make it easier for you to get through the process.
And that preserves the fun when you eliminate the stress and you have a good sense of the process, and that's your fundamental.
So we said the word stress so many times. We're
You're getting
scaring
stressed?
people.
You're
No, I
getting
think we're
stressed, right?
scaring people about buying a house. Like stress.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fun to it too. Going to look at houses
yeah.
is fun, and if you're selling your house, there's even that parts of it can be fun.
Yeah.
I mean, people have found amazing things when they start packing. They have. They found
Wow.
things that they thought they lost a long time ago.
I'll just
Yeah,
I
they
agree
have.
totally with that.
So it is a lot of fun to buy a house, but like when you buy a car or even when you go buy a dress, there's a lot of options out there. So you want the one that fits.
Yeah, and that's Denise is correct, because I tend to be more focused, and with good intent, that you want to eliminate, because there are certain points that are more exciting than others.
Mm-hmm.
But getting preparation, I guess that's the other way.
That's it. That's what this show is about too.
Yeah.
Is about preparing you for what's coming up. So we do a show every Wednesday at 5:30,
Mm-hmm.
and we are hoping to have subject matters that are of interest to you, that will teach you, but also that will encourage you to ask us questions.
And it's probably as late as it was last week. Do we see the full comment screen?
Yes, the comment screen's right there. See it?
Okay.
Comments. There
Hey.
are none.
Hey, somebody comment. And there's got to be somebody out there.
I know
Goodness,
somebody's
scare you away.
watching, but they may be watching in a way that's hard to comment. I don't know.
Well,
Anyway,
like last week they were typing their brains out.
I know they were, and we weren't even paying attention.
We were cruising.
We were.
It was definitely, we had
It was a better show.
She's right. It was better and fun, and I'm staring at the clock thinking, where was all the good stuff from last week in my head? And it's not there.
That's right.
But I was wondering.
We had some examples last week. I don't remember
Yeah.
one of them coming up this week.
What gave me a reason to ask Idaho to get involved?
I don't remember. I don't remember why you wanted Idaho.
I've got this thing about Idaho because this is the internet, and while our focus area is southern Rhode Island, southeastern Connecticut, and Facebook is aiming, and we're getting most of our participants, viewers from that area. It's the internet. So if you're out there in Idaho, I would personally consider it a favor if you would write me a comment and saying, Clark,
I'm in Idaho.
I'm in Idaho. Get me out of here. Nothing wrong with Idaho.
No, there is nothing wrong
They
with
get
Idaho.
great potatoes.
They do. They do. There's a lot of good potatoes around, though. It's not just Idaho. So please follow us every Wednesday night at 5:30 here on Facebook Live, and give us some suggestions about things about real estate that you would like to learn about. Also, YouTube. Subscribe to YouTube. Go check some of our past videos. Every one of them has a nugget of information that you want to know about.
Yeah, and you'll see you'll see the topics by the title. Hopefully that will give you a hint as to what we're talking about, because, and I'm repeating now, and Denise had sort of got me to stop talking about the why of all of this. But the why of all of this, I'm doing it now, is simply that real learning comes on a situational basis. It's not that you wouldn't learn about how to buy a house in one 60-minute seminar, because we have done that. But the idea is that it's when you run up against a problem that you don't feel you have a solution to, that's when the knowledge is most valued. So you'll see episodes like, I love that house. Where's my offer?
I want to make an offer. I love the house.
So when you look at YouTube, you'll see a variety of topics, and that's how we will go on in the coming weeks.
And don't miss our commercials. We do commercials on Monday nights, Monday sometime,
Yep.
Mostly late afternoon. We do those live, and those are we get lots of views on our commercials.
Yeah, and
Our commercial is for this show.
yeah. Well, maybe we'll
Briefing.
start doing half the show on Mondays and half the show on.
Yeah, but that was
Thursday.
not. It's more than 2 minutes then,
Yeah.
and the 2 minutes seem to work well.
It does. So take a look at YouTube, Instagram, do the social media thing for us.
Like us, share us,
Yes.
tell your friends about us.
So what do we do now?
I think that we should just say goodnight.
No, we can't. Is it 20 minutes?
Yes, it's been close enough.
Oh, okay. Then what she said seems to rule.
Yes.
Then I will say thank you for joining us. If you have any topics for future episodes,
I said that.
did you?
I did.
You sure?
Yes, please put them in the chat
The audio
box.
might have been off. Well, I didn't see anything there.
Have a good night.
See you later.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
That was